Sarah and Vinnie on Alice at 97.3.
All right, beautiful people, Alice Radio. Here is your review of a film that has 100% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Pixar needs to do a Bat Kid movie.
It's called Inside Out. Amy Poehler, Bill Hader, and Louis Black. So this film is about a little girl named Riley.
Adorable.
Who is uprooted from Minnesota, moves to San Francisco.
Riley Curry?
And through the genius of Pixar animation, and especially Pete Docter, we see how the 5 emotions that make up this little girl, joy, fear, anger, disgust, and sadness, navigate the major conflicts in her life. I know it seems like a huge concept, but I guess that leads me to my first question. Marcus, do the amazing people at Pixar take an incredibly deep concept of emotions and the subconscious and conflict resolution and make it understandable even for children?
Man, that's kind of what we were talking about earlier. Last night I was thinking about this movie and I was going, is this too complicated for kids? I'm
going to say no.
No?
Do you think it was?
I don't know. Maybe some sophisticated kids. I don't know. It's a very, very deep, complicated.
But we all get that there's stuff going on in our heads. I mean, that's
obviously.
A kid just has to grasp that, don't they?
Well, that's what I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know, and I'm not a kid anymore. So for me, it's not a difficult thing for me to grasp. But if I have my 7-year-old.
Right. Is it going to go over their head?
Yeah. Which is the only thing. They'll love the pretty colors and the funny jokes and the funny voices. But, I mean, I wonder if they were really... it's kind of like... this is a weird analogy, but it's kind of like when I was a little kid and I would watch Looney Tunes. I would laugh at those cartoons. But when I got older, 15, 20 years later, we go, oh my God, I didn't realize why I was laughing at these.
The levels of these things.
Yeah,
Well, that's what I think Pixar does really well, is there are so many things for adults in those movies. Like, they're clearly done by adults who still have held on to what it feels like to be a kid, and they find a way to satisfy every part of the audience. Because kids, the thing about Pixar's is movies, they become classics. So you watch it the first time when you're a little kid, and then you'll watch it again later in life, maybe with your own kids, and go, oh wow, I didn't pull that the first time around.
And I kind of get the feeling that that's the way many kids who see this film are going to react 10 years down the road.
Funny.
And I'm not sure, maybe Pixar meant for it to be that way. I'm not certain,
So I'm the only child on the show for the most part, and there's something in this movie that...
You are a child, there's no question.
There's something in this film that touched me deeply. Because I was an only child, I had imaginary friends. Aww. And there's a huge imaginary friend sequence in this movie. Did it resonate with you? I know you had a couple brothers, Marcus. Did it resonate with you? Did you have an imaginary friend as a child?
No, not at all. Not ever.
Because people who have siblings, I don't think it would have worked if the kid in this Pixar movie had siblings, the imaginary friend.
Well, like I said to you, it may have been possible for my youngest brother because there's a 10-year difference between he and I. Maybe, but that's not something I can relate to at all.
Well, it's another genius moment. I mean, as an only child, you're always talking to your friends. I'm still talking to my friends now. But it worked really well, and hats off to them for that sequence. So there are a ton of lists ranking the Pixar films. First of all, my question to you is, what's your #1 Pixar film, and where does Inside Out rank? What's your #1 Pixar movie?
Incredibles.
The Incredibles?
I love that movie.
You know what I really liked? And it's one of the...
Here we go.
It's really polarizing. But I really like WALL-E.
I love WALL-E.
It's such a polarizing Pixar film.
It's a great movie.
I thought it was brilliant. I thought it was brilliantly done. And it wasn't as funny and uplifting as the other Pixar films. But I just thought it was a brilliant movie.
Where does Inside Out rank? Is it in the top 5? Is it in the top 10? Or is it number 15?
No. Is that how many they've done?
Yeah, this is number
I would say top 6.
Top 6?
I would say
so
top
it's number
6.
6.
Top 6, yeah.
Is this film a tearjerker?
For me, no.
For me, yes. No, absolutely. No. It is 100% tearjerker. It will make your...
Will Vinnie cry?
No, Vinnie doesn't cry at anything. Come on.
He cried at McFarlane.
Well, he cried when his dog was... Yeah, but those are the only two. All right, so... Will children understand this movie?
Well, that's what I was saying.
Yes or no?
I think they'll enjoy it. I'm not certain that all the kids will get it until later on in life when they watch it again, which is kind of what makes this a really well-made a well-crafted motion picture because it'll have that long-lasting.
My final question before I sum it all up. Now that this man has done Monsters, Inc., Up, and Inside Out, is Pete Docter the best director at Pixar?
Those are all great movies.
I mean,
I'm gonna say yes too.
I guess if you were ranking,
Pete, you're number one, buddy.
Well, wait.
Who did The Incredibles? I like those.
Is that Brad Bird?
Brad Bird did
I think
Incredibles
he's
and
the best.
Ratatouille.
Ratatouille is also one of my favorites.
Well,
Who did Ratatouille?
Brad Bird.
That's Bird.
That's a great movie.
I still go Up and Monsters.
You know what's hard about
you better decide.
Pixar is it's really actually incredibly difficult to rate them because as each one comes up, you go, oh yeah, that one. Oh, that. Oh.
Well,
I mean, the second Toy Story, that one.
Well, think about it. They've never really had an awful film. I mean, Planes wasn't amazing.
Well, Planes wasn't Pixar.
Planes wasn't Pixar.
Okay. The Cars 2 was
Cars 2.
unnecessary.
Right.
Just let me say that. Unnecessary Cars 2.
They say
I
it
loved
had
it,
sweet
John.
moments.
You did a great job, buddy. All right, sum it all
And
up.
this one didn't have John Lasseter's involvement.
Yeah, he's
and
always-
it's the first film
he's
without
the-
Steve Jobs' involvement.
Well, John is always the executive producer and everything. Like he was at Cannes with them when they premiered it and got the standing ovation.
But he wasn't the guy he didn't have a huge input in this film.
Are you sure about that?
Pretty sure about that.
Sum it all up, let me just say this. The absolute genius of this film is that by the end, if you're a little child, you're going to realize that sadness is as important as joy. You walk away enlightened. This movie makes you smarter, makes you think deeper. I was happy, but only because I was sad. Amazing job, Pete! Amazing! I hope there's room on your book.
They're never going to invite you back.
It's all right. No, you don't have to invite me back.
You're never going to be back in it, Pixar.
You can give me a million nicknames and you never have to invite me back. I hope there's room on your bookshelf for another Oscar. With that being said, I'm going to give it a perfect 5 Persians.
Oh,
Wow.
5. Wow, you loved it.
Wow, I liked it a lot.
Brother, here we go.
Dude, what are you saying? I'm being completely honest. Listen, it's very difficult. Pixar has a certain bar, and you just get used to a certain level of things. They're still far and away better than everybody else.
Everybody else.
Everybody else. So
Everybody else.
Even on their worst day, they're still better than 98% of all animated film companies. I think this is one of their better installments to the filmography.
So what do you
of
give
Pixar.
it?
I'm going to give it 4 Aussies.
Oh, my God.
Very, very, very good.
You're
Worth
fired.
seeing. Go ahead and take the family. The kids will love it. They'll get a few laughs. And you didn't mention the cast in this thing, Hooman.
I did at the beginning. Amy Poehler.
Love Amy Poehler. Bill Hader. Love Bill Hader.
Lewis
Love
Black.
Bill Hader.
It's all good.
Lewis Black is perfectly cast.
Richard Kind.
Yeah. Go see it. Take the family and go see it. It's really, really fun. Really interesting. You might even cry.